Said we're welcome. We've we've been here before. We've been at the boat shed before. We've cooked for you before. Welcome to probably the last cooking show we're going to have this year. Today we're going to bring you paella. Okay, we're going to bring you paella mixture, which is a combination of meat and prawns. We're going to get some peat in there. I've just started this off because it is a fairly lengthy process. Okay, so what we've got there, we've got some chorizo just in some garlic infused oil. Okay, just a little bit because you don't want to load up too much of the garlic. So I've got some garlic infused oil in there, just some strips of chicken thigh. Chicken breast goes a little bit dry. Some onion, chopped up onion, and I just want to let this oil kind of soak up there. And we get some, and then we're going to add in some beautiful things like the heat. We're going to bring in some. We're using a borio rice, kind of that risotto style. Obviously not a traditional. Usually you use some of those smaller grain rices, but that will suffice for today. And we're going to add stuff in, and just, it is a slow process, and one of the things with making paella is you don't want to do it too quick. So this is about an hour and a bit in terms of the timing. Adding bits in on top, adding flavours in, tomatoes. We've got the beautiful colours of the Spanish flag there in terms of some of that capsicum, and we'll bring some heat into that as well. I've got instructions, all that preparation. We've talked about preparation. Got some book instructions. It gives us a bit of history of paella. I won't necessarily need to go through that with you today, but certainly looking at things like what you want to do when you're looking for some of these beautiful flavours is a thing called the soakerette, which is an idea where the rice itself actually sits around the edge of the pan. Paella means a pan with two handles. Okay, there's a bit Spanish for you. It's actually a Latin word as well. But it actually, what you can do is you want to try and bring some of that rice just crispy on the outside and beautiful on the inside. Now, one of the things also what we know with paella, when you might have had some before, you don't make them too big. The idea is you don't try and load too much on, but you also want to make sure you just bring all those beautiful flavours in together. So we're going to let that cook off a little bit, and then we're going to add some of that rice in and let that rice soak in some of that oil before we actually add any of the stock. Because again, you want to bring some of that oil and colour into the rice, and you bring some of that extra flavour in there as that starts to cook. So let us play with that for a little bit, and then we'll come back and we'll show you what some of those next steps might be.
Start again.
All right, you ready? We can see that that is really soaked up with lots of beautiful oil in there. So that means it's time to add our rice. Now we've got a bit of a combo here, a 1-to-1. So that's a 40 centimetre pan, roughly 16 inches, which is important to know because about not overloading it. So about 40 centimetres, and that will feed around 3 people, 100 people. Right? So let's just bring this rice in. Now before that's one, we're going to put 3 of these in. I'm just going to move a little bit of this around because you really want to soak up. You can get close there, you see that oil just picking it up there. We really need to soak that up before we add any of the moisture or the chicken stock, vegetable stock, beef stock, or whatever you might be using. We're going to use chicken stock today. So let's get 3 of these in. Now with the chicken stock or whatever stock you might be using, again, you're not putting it all in at once, okay? So you're allowing it to kind of really soak up, because you're not boiling it, you're absorbing that stock. So let's put 3 of those in, which roughly works out to about a cup each. If you can see if we're, I think we'll run out there. So let's put that in. Move that around. You can see that it's just soaking up. I'm just going to quickly put the chilli in, and then we're going to, just because you want to have some of that flavour, beautiful flavour. That's not a hot chilli. You probably think, wow, God, he's used a lot there. And a little bit of paprika. Again, this will give you your colour. That's not too hot, so you probably won't worry about that. So let's just soak that up. Now we'll come back to you just in a second and show you what this looks like. We'll roll it through. Okay, that's mixed in beautifully. Look at that. That's what we want there. So a couple of things we're going to add here. So just a can of crushed up tomatoes. So not a can, a cup, roughly, not too much. Again, you don't want to overdo it with some of those flavours. It's all about some of those smaller, intricate flavours that we're going to put in. Now, I mentioned we're going to slowly put in our 3 cups of chicken stock to 3 cups of the rice. Okay, so we talked about the ratio there, so 1 to 1. So you can see that, and we're just going to mix this in slowly, and then it's literally set and forget. Okay, so 40 centimetre pan, 3 people, 1 to 1 ratio. Getting that rice ready, just sort of mix that through so you've got that. And then we're going to add in, so we're going to literally leave this for a while, and we're going to add in our capsicum and our prawns last minute, all right? So because we don't want to stew those, we really just want to get that flavour going, get that rice soaking up all this beautiful oil and flavours. So I'll just mix that through. And I mentioned that before, that Socrates thing, so where you want that rice to stick to the bottom, okay? So you're not mixing it, you're not moving it around, you're literally just leaving it to do its thing, crust on the edge, and making sure, I guess the key to it is making sure if you're working with a gas bottle like this, whether it's Chucky's gas bottle, whoever's it might be, don't overdo it, right? Because he's got a timer on this and he's measured every PSI of gas that they have. I don't even know if that's what the measured gas is. But so let's just leave that. That looks like exactly what we want. Look at the colours in that. Look at the oil in that. And we're just going to leave that, and we're going to come back and we'll show you what those next steps are. All right, we've just come back, have a look. You can see some of that rice, some of it's not actually fully cooked there, so we're going to do a few things. I want to add just another cup of stock on, okay, because we still want to get that crispness, so you don't want to add too much on, right? So just one more cup of that chicken stock. I'm going to add a couple of these last things on. I've got some, just some colour here, some sliced green jalapenos, pickles. Put some of those on. There's some carrots in there, so that's let them pickle. And I'm just going to put on our capsicum as well. Let's get some of those on. That's great. Colour in there. And then I'm going to cover it because we want to get that kind of even heat all the way through. So some of that rice that's at the top, we want to make sure that actually cooks all the way through. So, and then the last thing we're going to do is, after we've done that, we're going to put the prawns on. Okay, they're the last thing that we add on to this. Some of those prawns. So, a couple of those. I love the heat. Look at the capsicums. Look at the yellow. Look at that colour. And then we're going to cover that up with just some tin foil. Again, to get that consistent heat, because some of this heat is just sitting at the bottom, which is fine because we want that. Look at that, that is just beautiful. Look at that. Okay. And this keeps that consistency, the heat all the way through it, so you get that top part cooked off as well. Oh. Talk about prep. We should have got this done before. Here we go. Covering this up. There we go. Those kept, but that's, of course, that's hot. There. Perfect, that worked really well. Put that on. Perfect. We didn't anticipate the wind, did we? Huh? Looks like I'm having a bad night here. Alright. There we go. Keep that where you can. Really awkward as that looks, keep that heat in where possible. Right. Again, we're going to leave that. We'll give that a few more minutes because what you want to do is you want to smell that kind of nuttiness, which is that rice that we're looking for, that just cooking on the edge of the pan. We'll bring that up and show you what that looks like. I might even keep that on there to help that little way. Right, we'll come back shortly. All right, last few things. We're gonna
start again. Go. Yep.
Last few things we're going to do. We've got the prawns. We're going to just wedge some of these where you can. Just some of those bits of capsicum in. Right, push it in, get some of that flavour all the way down the bottom so it's not just sticking on top. We'll do the same with these prawns, right? Oh, I'm going to do some lemons as well. Try and get the tips out. Same sort of thing. You just want to bring it in, get that flavour. Then you can. Tips. Just even if you can, just squeeze that through. And I mentioned already, the last thing, piece to resistance here is some of those prawn cutlets, right? Just again, you can squeeze them right in. These of course will change colour. I'm going to cover this up once more. You could have done these prawn cutlets with their heads on. Of course that's when they're not cutlets anymore. Heads on. Beautiful, look at that. That is absolutely. A little add on here. These. Just a little bit of anchovies, just to give some of that saltiness. You know, just bring some of that salt in. Don't have to, but I just think it adds a beautiful flavour. Just bring it through. I love these anchovies. Salty. You've probably noticed the only kind of flavour we put in there is that pimento in terms of sort of spices. So we haven't really put anything else in there. Of course, no salt because a lot of that's already done. A little bit of this on top.
Jeez.
There we go. We're going to cover that up and we'll be ready to serve that when you can see the prawns have actually started to change colour. So Andrew, sorry, just before you leave us, Andrew, thank you again for the use of the gas chippy, so well done. Look, you can see that I've just taken that off. You can see the crust on the side there and you can smell that nuttiness coming through, but I've just had a little peeky poo down there. You want to kind of bring that crust up. It literally becomes, if we're looking at that at kind of a 1 inch, it's almost about a centimetre of that crust, that really crunchy bit of different rice that's soaked up all that flavour. Remember, we haven't turned it, we haven't tossed it and turned it, we've let it just kind of burn there. The challenge always with these is keeping that kind of consistency, hence why we had the cover. You can see the prawns done there, so we're literally going to give that a couple more minutes and we're going to turn it off, call it and get into it. Thank you. I think we're there. Look at that crust. Oh, listen to that. No, not the waves, listen to that. Yeah. Oh. A little bit more of that crust down the bottom. That's going to be, it could have been left a little longer, but that just looks beautiful. Look at that. Nice chorizo. Beautiful. Fantastic. There we go. That's your paella mixed up with all that combination, all that beautiful heat in that as well. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoy it.